Welcome to Inside BMX presented by BMX Live TV. I'm Pete Dylewski and we're going to try to give you the behind the scenes scoop and what's the latest on the BMX World Tour and what's going on with riders around the world. You get to see all the racing action, but we want to give you behind the scenes type looks. So last week we headed down to Oldsmar, Florida for the USABMX North American Supercross Tour, and we sat down with a few riders that are making things happen in BMX. Let's take a look at our first piece as we got to interview Caroline Buchanan and Barry Nobles and get the latest on what they're doing on and off the track. We're here with the BMX dream couple, Barry Buchanan and Caroline Nobles. So Caroline, we're here in Oldsmar, incredible BMX race, your first race of the year. What's the atmosphere for you like to be back on the big hill and the BMX track?
Yeah, it's good. We're here. There's a bit of a pit row. All the teams have come for this one. So, it's nice that everyone's out here. First big ramp of the season, and this big ramp definitely gets everyone excited. So it's nice to see all the pros up there and getting amped and bar to bar. And there's definitely some carnage, but it's keeping it in, makes it interesting.
So definitely a good race for you yesterday. Came from behind, which you seem to like to do when I guess when you have to. But good race, and you came through. So what's it like to grab another victory, but the first kick off your season with a victory on Supercross Hill?
It's always nice, to keep the ball rolling throughout the year, and it's always nice to kick off the first one and keep that momentum into the next. So yeah, come back at the line. I think I learned from this guy. He seems to get around a track really well, and always tells me it's not over that finish line. So managed to come back for the win, and it's been a bit of a strength over the years of having a strong finish.
So you two have a very active lifestyle, and all of us fans get a chance to glimpse on it from Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all that. So how do you keep up with each other? Especially a lot of times you guys are doing things completely separate.
Yeah, well this year it's all about really living the ride, so we're actually going to have a page all about it, following the journey. I find it hard keeping up with him. He's pretty ADHD energy, but keeps me on my toes. So we keep it fun. I think that's what the whole living the ride's about. It's kind of living the dream, but like riding that roller coaster at the same time. And whilst we're here to race and get on the podium, you got to enjoy the journey too.
And then Barry, you have a lot of interest outside of BMX and bikes too, but it all kind of stems around two wheels. So just talk about that.
Yeah, exactly. I've been doing this BMX stuff for years. I've been coming here to Oldsmar for 15 years now. So it's been a repetitive thing for me every year. So I just really try to keep it fun, especially two wheels, whether it's motorcycles on the street, dirt bikes on a dirt bike track, riding with whoever I can ride with. So I just want to keep it fun. I had to kind of take a few steps back with BMX, and I still love it. It's my core, but take a few steps back and find out why I do it, and I do it because I love it, and I want to have fun all the way across the board and living the ride that Caroline was just talking about. We're kind of really pushing that this year, and we just want to be able to show that to everybody. Everybody should just be able to live that ride and make their life that journey.
And as a lot of the BMX Live TV fans know, Barry usually is the guy who gives you a course preview, and he's always stepping his game up. So as you saw from Oldsmar, he had a new apparatus on his helmet. But just, like we said, everyone's so focused. We've always been so focused on BMX results, great things, where you guys definitely have that, but you also have a great time, and that's something, a lot of us that have been around for a while seem to forget about. So having a great time, doing great results, doing great things. But the two of you have really invested and introduced a lot more of the social media aspect. So Barry, for you, how much time, you seem to put a lot out there. It puts a lot of time and effort to it, but it all looks fun. So just talk about that different aspect of being off the bike, but still being engaged in the bicycle related things.
Yeah, absolutely. From when I grew up, it was a completely different era of BMX. I looked up to all the pros, like the kids are looking up to Caroline and myself now, but now we have social media. It's not just a website and magazine ads, but now it's all DIY, you have to do everything yourself, and you really got to put yourself out there. And I feel a lot of things in the BMX world are lacking on that. The guys really do not that they get caught up in results, but it's a lot more than just results now. You have the top motocross guys. Ken Roxon's a prime example, he's the best guy out there, and his social media is awesome, he shows everything as if you're right there. You actually feel like you know the guy. And so I look at people like that and I take notes from them, and I want to be the one that kids can come up and talk to me about a social media post I saw and take it more, because some of these races, to be honest, they're forgotten about by Tuesday, whether there's not enough coverage or photos don't get pushed out. So you really got to push things out yourself and do something cool on the weekend. The result might not be there, but hey, say I get a cool track preview that's spreading around online for the next couple weeks, then it just kind of makes it good for all of us.
Really brings like people along for that journey, and I think that's one of the powers of social media is we like people feeling like they're out on the track as well. So they may be at home, they may be injured, they may have never even rode a bike before, but giving them that virtual reality experience or the 360 previews or anything, I think it's inspiring that next generation of kids to be like, damn, I want to go ride a bike or do any sport.
And then with no disrespect to the other riders or people that do it now, it's the people that have really promoted themselves well were doing it because they didn't have the results. With the two of you, you have results and you do a great job. But Caroline, you've seemed to probably capitalize on it the best, and you have some great sponsors that are way outside the box of the BMX realm. So just talk about those relationships that you have, and because I think a lot of people aspire to do that, and as the industry on a whole, I think it's been difficult to do something that you've been pretty successful at.
Yeah, it is. I come from quite a competitive family. My mum and dad, they both own their own businesses. So from the beginning, my dad said, you want to be a BMX bandit, you're going to have to work, you're going to have to be creative and think out the box. And I think that instilled a lot of, good traits from a young age to really push the boundaries of BMX, but also, think outside the box, which is so important to bring some corporate brands in and help the sport grow. But, I love it. We're both pretty like ADHD, and we put so much time and energy, and we love the sport at the end of the day. So how much passion we put into everything we do on the track, we put that same amount of passion into the sponsors we work with, the promotion we do, the videos we make, the photos we post. Like, there's a lot of love and attention that goes into everything we do.
So we're just at the kickoff of the season, but what can we expect to see from the two of you throughout the rest of this year and the summertime?
You never know what we're going to be throwing out there. No, we have a big season when it comes to, like, as far as mountain bike and BMX. We're trying to do it all in one season, still hit these Supercross events. We won't be at the smaller track events quite as much, but Supercross events will be at all those. The Crankwork stops, the big mountain bike festivals, really the ones we can have the most fun at, and keep living that ride.
Yeah, living the ride. I think follow that journey this year.
And then when you guys are actually home, it's not, 10 paces from your back door to get to your local riding spot. So talk about what it's like to invest that much of it. Is you're at your home, you're in your house and you can't get away from it because it's a true love for you guys.
Yeah, we both moved ourselves to Southern California. It's the capital of the world for two wheels, like I do skydiving as well. The drop zone is literally on the other side of the freeway from the house. I can see jumpers coming down from my driveway. There's a dirt bike track within 5 miles away. We have Grand Prix BMX ran by Mike Redmond. We have our little backyard trail set up. Like, we couldn't ask for it better. You really can't escape it, but at the same time, like, there's so much love for it. I don't really even want to step away from it. It's always kind of there when we need it.
Some say you shouldn't bring work home, but we definitely.
I don't think we get away from that one.
We don't get away from it. We have that track in our backyard. So.
Yeah.
Well, as a fan of the sport, I'm definitely a big fan of both of you, and I know all the people around the world say thank you for giving us something to do, smile, and be happy about in the off time from the races or whatever else we have going on in our lives.
Appreciate that, Pete. Thank you.
Interesting to hear from Caroline and Barry. Next up, it's Dale Holmes. Dale Holmes is one of the biggest names on the track, but for the past few years, he's created the Dale Holmes Racing program, and he's got a lot of subsidiary programs going along with it. Let's get caught up with Dale and see what's new with him.
We're here with Dale Holmes. Dale, not only one of the top racers, as we all remember, couple-time world champion, couple-time #1 pro, like 97-time European champion, 250-time English state champion. But of course, when he ended his career, moved on to the industry side of things. And this year, things are a little bit different. You started the Dale Holmes Racing team a few years ago. Last year, you focused on that. This year, you spread out to a few more things. And the fans really want to know all the aspects of not only the junior development program, but the other things that you got going on.
Yeah, definitely. Busy year this year. Definitely changed things up. Still keeping my Dale Holmes Racing team. We switched bike brands to GT. Denny George is with us again, and we picked up Bryce Betts again, somebody that I sponsored a couple years ago. And then my new project is a combination with Jamie Staff, director for USA Cycling. Talked to Jamie Staff a little bit last year, and we talked about maybe combining a national team from Team USA to the industry with some of the sponsors I could bring in. come together and build a program, start working with some of these mid-range age groups, juniors, and kind of put together a program that just mentoring these kids through as they make the transition from junior into professional over the next 2 years.
So running 2 teams, 2 programs basically is a lot of work, but you don't stop there. You also do some school programs introducing BMX into the community in San Diego and surrounding areas.
Yeah, definitely. I've got 2 other programs on top of that. I've got a Ride to End Obesity, which is a school after-school program where we go into the schools. We talk about healthy eating, making good choices, getting the kids to get off their, the mobile devices, and introduce them to BMX. This is our 4th year now with the Ride to End Obesity program. And on top of that, we've got BMX Pro for a week, which is a YMCA summer camp program that we do as well, which is basically all the YMCAs within San Diego. Different ones come in next week. We meet them at the track with a bunch of bikes and teach them BMX racing. So yeah, busy, but that's the way I like it.
So you got a lot of business things going on. How do you keep it fun? Because I think you and I have discussed it before, being in BMX for 20 some odd years. Sometimes it gets a little stale, but I think you've been able to reinvent and reinvigorate yourself to make it more fun and be at more events.
Yeah, definitely. I think, especially with the way the industry is right now, you've got to be creative. And if that means doing more jobs, then that's the way we got to do it. But for me, yeah, it's like I can't sit still. As you know, Pete, I can't even watch TV. I like to have 10 different things going on. And yeah, this year working with juniors, more than I would have, normally it's professionals, but it's, just new challenges, new people, and just keeping that fun aspect. At the end of the day, it's just riding bicycles, and I think the guys that keep it fun are the guys that stick around a long time.
I don't want to age you, because I'm actually older than you, I think. But the guys behind me that are on your team, they actually know your true history and how deep you are involved in BMX. And because I know you're going to help them with your experiences, but, are they like normal teenage kids that don't really listen to adults?
Yeah, no, they have no idea, really. And I don't expect them to. Maybe they might see the odd flashback Thursday picture, but, today's kids are more in what's happening at the moment. So for us old guys living in the past, we have to kind of communicate with guys our own age to do that. Today's kids really aren't too worried about the good old days.
So with the junior development program, what's your main goal to put in these kids' minds about the future of BMX and where they sit now and where they can go?
I think it's like kind of what we just touched on is I think you can be professional, you can be serious, but you've got to still sprinkle that bit of fun in. And I think the guys that do that, the guys that are in the sport a long time, I think you see some of the seasoned pros, Maris, Nick Long, guys that can kind of remove themselves a little bit away from it and take themselves away from it and have a life and keep it fun as well. And that's what we want to kind of do with this program and, teach them to, how to present themselves, how to act with the sponsors, just all little bits in all areas. And obviously with Jamie Staff, Team USA, Ariel Martin's going to be involved with these guys with the training. I think with all the pieces of this pie that we put together, these kids are going to be able to utilize a lot of good things that can help them as not just a good rider, but a good professional or a good rider as well.
And then the last thing I'm going to talk to you about is I've seen some pictures, seen you at the track training, and I've even heard that you wanted to get on the racetrack. What in your right mind put you back on that starting gate in BMX after all the great things you've already accomplished?
No, I mean, I never left the racetrack. I have no desire to race this year, but I still like to go to the track once or twice a week, just to keep in shape. I still enjoy riding a bike, even if it's, 222 through the rhythm section. I still get little kicks out of that. And I still love, what it's all about. I still love riding BMXs. I won't be racing anytime soon, but I'll always ride a bike. That's what it's all about.
Well, thanks so much, Dale.
Thanks, Pete.
So good on you, Dale Holmes, for all the extra effort you're helping out the youngsters in BMX racing. Next up, one of the biggest personalities in BMX, it's going to be Nick Long. Nick Long pulls no punches on or off the track, so let's get some scoop on what makes Nick Long tick when he's away from racing.
We're here with Nick Long. Nick's one of the top riders in the world. Saw him in the Olympics. Whole shot at that main. Unfortunately, didn't go that way the rest of the lap. Sorry for bringing that up already, Nick. But Nick's one of those guys that you get to see have a lot of fun when he's not on his bike and even when he's on his bike. So, Nick, how do you find that fine line for you to be one of the top BMX racers in the world, yet still have a lot of fun of what you do for your profession?
I think the key for me is I just keep everything light. I get the hard work done. But I always do it with a smile on my face. Always making jokes, trying to get everybody else to smile. And, maybe that's something that helps me, and it maybe, takes the guard down from everyone else because I'm, making them laugh up there on the gate. But I'm just out there to have a good time, and I come as prepared as possible. So, I can't do anything but try my best. So I try to have a good time.
So BMX over the last 10 years, 8 to 10 years, has become so about gym and, proper diet. And, that's how you're going to become one of the top guys. And, of course, a natural ability. I think you've been one of those riders your whole career. You've been that great guy on the bike. But, again, as we said, you've always had fun. So, what do you attribute to being able to do those things and still come back, and go out there and win a main event?
Yeah, I think it kind of just goes back to, what I said. I get the hard work done, like you said, and that's what it is. Always blah, blah, blah. Did gym this day, track, blah, blah, blah. But it's always, I'm always the one at the after party, my shirt off most of the time, or always having a good time at home, whatever I'm doing, after training. I drink quite a bit. I like to have a good time. What can I say? And like I said, I keep light on my feet. And, mentally, my headspace is always just to have a good time. So I think that's what, gets me through these tough days.
You have a great support unit with not only your sponsors, but a great BMX family. So just talk about that, because a lot of people may know one of your sisters or your dad, but not everything that they've put into BMX your whole life and hopefully helping you get to where you are today.
Yeah, I do. I have a huge backing from sponsors and all that. But yeah, my dad, he runs one of the biggest and best factory teams out here, and he's at every race that I race most of the time. All the World Cups he tries to get to, and he's always keeping an eye on me. Sisters, and just the BMX family and community it's huge. I could really care less to spend most of the time with any of my family at home. Only thing I ever look forward to is getting to the race to see the people that I can relate to on an everyday basis.
So for you, you've been successful and been able to turn a hobby and then like a youth sport into a career, while you had a lot of friends that raced while you were growing up, and when you became professional, some of them kind of walked away, but you still keep in touch and see a lot of them. So how is that, does that help diversify your time away from BMX, even though those guys have deep BMX roots with you?
Not really. I mean, it always seems to just fall back onto BMX, and even when it's my close family with nobody who does BMX, it's always like, oh, Nick, how was the race? And it's like, last thing I really want to talk about with them is how the races went, because that's all I ever do. But it's like, it's the same. They all just have regular jobs and work, 9 to 5, so they're tired of talking about their lives. And then when they talk to me about mine, I'm tired of talking about mine. So, but yeah, I mean, the family aspect is huge, and it's a great thing we have in our sport for sure.
So last thing, you let a little bit of your lifestyle out on people for social media to see, but what's one thing people would never guess that Nick Long did in his off time away from his bike?
Oh, man. I don't know. I'm pretty social media out there, and everybody kind of sees what I do, or, whether it's through Snapchat, and even some of the things probably people shouldn't see, but I don't know. The what? Oh, yeah, sorry. I like to feed I do homeless events every once in a while when I can. I haven't done one in a while, just with the year being so busy last year, with the Olympics and all that, and moving, trying to get things together at the house I'm living in now. But I'd like to try and get one together again. It's it's fun, and it helps a lot of people. We have a huge homeless community in downtown San Diego that we try to cook around 100 meals or so and get them out there and get some of the BMX family out and hand them out. It always seems to be a good time and brings everyone together.
And then for you, what's the number one fun activity you like to do, whether it's after an event or during a weekend at a race?
Getting the race done as fast as possible, staying off the ground, and getting to the bar, really.
All right, well, that's a few questions here with Nick Long in Oldsmar, Florida. Nick, thanks so much.
Yeah.
All right, that's the scoop with Nick Long. And next up, it's going to be Jason Carnes. Jason Carnes has been around the world with BMX, running some of the biggest teams and programs, but now Jason started his own thing with the Therm Academy. Let's get the scoop on what the Therm Academy is all about directly from Jason Carnes.
Jason, talk us through what the Therm Academy is all about.
Well, what we're putting on here is just basically a BMX road trip experience. It's obviously revolves around the USA BMX National Circuit. So what I'm doing is taking riders from around the world, around the U.S. to races and everything in between. So in the past, when I was with Redline, we did the races and then we did some clinics in between. But here what we have is we're going to race over here one weekend and we're going to race over here in 2 weeks. How much fun stuff can we cram in? How many USA BMX local tracks can we hit? Skate parks, backyard tracks, swim holes, tourist traps, you name it. So I'm trying to bring a little fun back to the sport. The Olympic mindset seems to be wearing a lot of people out. So what I want to show people is that it can be fun. You know, we're here to have a good time. That's why we all started. And somewhere along the way, it gets so serious that you forget that there's a good time to be had out here with your buddies, you know, creating memories that last a lifetime. So that's what I'm trying to do, just show them there's another, you know, there's another level to this thing. And so we train, we race hard, we work together and support one another, but we're also here to really have a good time and just create, you know, friendships and memories, like I said.
Speaking of serious, as you keep walking away from me, you've got a serious setup out here. So talk about a little bit about the setup, and then we'll talk about your first leg of this tour.
Well, I want the riders to be comfortable, and I want to look cool at the same time. So I've teamed up with John Sawyer over here to Answer and S Squared, and we put together just a killer program. I've got a 42-foot motor coach, Freightliner motor coach. We're pulling a trailer here for all our gear. We got plenty of tents, lights, drinks, you know, everything you want. I like to think that I have the nicest setup on the circuit, and we don't even have everything out here now. We've got carpet, the barbecue pits usually going, so we've got everything you need for a good time, to be comfortable and to look cool.
So this is the first the first journey for you with the Therm Academy. So talk about where it started, what you've done, and who's been on it with you.
Oh my gosh. All right, so we're 3 weeks into a 4-week trip. We started in Southern California. We spent 12 days or so there. Then we were over in Phoenix for a week and a half. And so what we did, SoCal was getting blasted with rain, but we still managed to fit in a lot of cool stuff. We hung out at the beach a little bit. We had barbecues with just legends of the sport. We went over to Sam Willoughby and Elise Post's house for a barbecue. We hung out at Maris's house. We had a barbecue with Barry Nobles. We had private sessions over at Lake Paris, Mike Redmond's track with Maris and another Latvian guy, Ricardo, and the other day we had another one with Barry Nobles and Anthony Dean. We've been to Oakley for behind-the-scenes tours, same thing at Troy Lee. So just, we're packing it full of stuff. We went to Lake Havasu over in Arizona, saw the London Bridge. They didn't know what it was because I've got a bunch of foreigners here, New Zealand, Australia, and a guy from Oregon. He might have sang about it, but we saw the London Bridge. We rode the skate park. We went to the track, and then we did the National in Phoenix as well as the other local tracks like Chandler and AZ Pro Track. We went to the trails. We're just doing it all. And then we booked it across the country to here. We made a stop at USS Alabama to check that out. We bought some Indian trinkets along the way through New Mexico. And so, we're just trying to pile in what we can. I look on the map and I see those 2 races, and then I just look everywhere in between for, whatever we can do. So, like I said, I've got one rider from Australia, Troy Ewens, he's from Perth, and then Amy Martin, she's junior elite, she's from New Zealand, and then I've got Justin Mollet from Oregon. So those guys are here. Full truck for me is 5, so this is a nice, easy start. I'm learning how to prepare meals and keep dirty socks picked up and all that stuff. So it's off to a great start, and we're having a killer time, and we got another week of this beautiful Florida weather, so I'm thankful for that.
So the riders around the world that want to get on the Jason Carnes Therm Academy and make BMX fun again,
right?
How do they get in touch with you, and how do they figure out where they can go around the U.S. and travel with you?
Okay, well, all the tours are laid out on the website, thermacademy.com. If you just go on there, they're all laid out. I've got the tours put together from now through Labor Day, which is a Louisville race. And we're doing it all. We're going to be on all 4 corners of the U.S. and everywhere in between. So check it out. My phone number's on the site. My email's on the site. Hit me up. I'm always happy to brag about what we're doing and get people interested and involved and answer any questions that I can answer. So that's about it, man. I'm just looking forward to being on the road another year. This makes about 20 in a row that I'm going to spend the year on the road, and I don't know what else I'd do with my time, so I'm happy to be here.
Well, from someone who's been around the world as well for BMX all over, some of my greatest stories and memories just happened to be with Jason along here in the United States of America. So Jason, thanks so much for that, and all the other lucky people who have that opportunity. I sure hope they come on to the Therm Academy.
It's here. Come take advantage of it, and let's hang out and have a good time.
All right, so that's a wrap for this edition of Inside BMX. We hope we gave you a little bit of insight of what's going around in the world of BMX, and we hope to see you here again in the near future.